When it comes to traveling and exploring the world, it can be pretty pricey. When you factor in food, travel, gas, everything, it can be pretty pricey. And it'll actually deter people from going and exploring the world, going and getting to see different cultures, growing, learning. And honestly, it's pretty sad because one of my favorite things to do is getting to go see what God has created here on earth. And as you can see here, I'm here in Hawaii. Yes, I'm in Maui, Hawaii, and I'm actually getting to explore their culture, see what Maui is, the beauty of it, the beaches, the oceans, the jungles, the roads, everything it has to offer. And I actually got to do it at a pretty low cost. Me and my wife were able to afford a trip, go on a vacation, and actually budget for this trip using the 3 ways that I'm going to be explaining in today's video. And let me get this straight. It's not always a quick, fast process in order to actually save money to go on a vacation, to go to somewhere like Maui, go somewhere like Europe, go somewhere other than where you're actually from. It's not always going to be a fast process, but these steps that I'm going to be going over today will make it faster and will make it strict to where you actually are achieving goals so that you can go and explore places around the world that you want to see. We're going to be going over 3 ways that you can go and explore the world. Budget for a vacation, just like my wife and I did for my family, where we saved and budgeted to get here in Maui for only $2,300 for a whole week. The first way that you can actually budget and save for a vacation is to actually be patient. You have to shop around for deals. If me and my wife said, I want to go to Maui and we want to go right now, yes, you can find good deals that way, but in reality, it's really hard. We did it, but it was extremely difficult and it took us 20 plus hours to actually book this vacation. Yes, it took us almost an entire day worth of work in order to book this vacation, in order to save money. But it wasn't just from the deals that we got. We also worked and were patient long term in order to actually save for this vacation. So the first way is you need to budget and you need to be able to be patient, and then you need to search for deals within that budget. If my wife and I were to have booked everything exactly the way that we seen it online, exactly for the same dates that we wanted, and exactly the airline that we wanted, we would have spent nearly $6,000. $6,000, which is absolutely insane. But we actually spent and booked this vacation over a 2.5 week time period where we were constantly searching the web, constantly using discount codes, constantly using corporate discount codes. We were going to different airline industries. We were going to Alaskan, Hawaiian, Southwest, Delta, American, you name it, we went to their websites. We looked at dates within a month time period, starting on Tuesdays, coming back on Wednesdays, coming back on Thursdays, starting on Thursdays, coming back on Wednesdays, everything just so that we can see exactly the price of what it would cost per airline. We also changed to different surrounding cities. We looked at Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Dallas. We looked at everywhere. We went to one way. We went to round trip. We did everything we could to actually be able to align with the budget. And like I said, if we would have clicked book now, right when we seen the flights that we wanted, we would have spent nearly $3,000 more just for the flights. So we actually only spent around $300 total for 3 of us round trip. 3 seats on a plane round trip to Maui was around $300. That's $50 one way because we were patient. Because we took the time, we took the energy and the money that we had, and we said, we're not going over this budget. We have to be strict. Even if that means crappier flights. Even if that means 10 hours one way to Atlanta. Yeah, that's what we're doing. 10 hours from here to Atlanta on the way back, and then back to our home. So yeah, it's not a great flight. It's not direct, but it saves us a ton of money up front so that we can enjoy ourselves while we're here, and we can actually come here on a budget instead of spending thousands and thousands of more dollars. And we did the same thing when it came to where we were staying, the condo locations. We went directly to their websites, looked and seen if they had any deals. We went to VRBO, we went to Airbnb, we went to Booking.com, Expedia. We went everywhere just to see if we could find a cheaper location. We also waited. We seen what they were around, a random Tuesday out, a month out, and we waited. Every single day, we noticed it got $100 cheaper, but there's probably a fine line there. So we waited. It went down $500 in the course of 3 to 4 days. That saved us a ton of money. That's not always going to happen, and it could actually increase the closer you get to where you're actually wanting to go, but it could also decrease. But like I said, we had a budget set, and so by having that budget set, we knew we did not want to go over a certain amount, and that is the key. You set a budget and you be patient. You look for deals, you find the deals, and you book it when it's in your budget. You don't go over. You don't swipe your credit card. You don't do all these different things that's going to cost you thousands and thousands of dollars just because you want to do it now and you want to get it over with. That's not how you save money. That's not being patient, and that's not how you create a budget. And if you want a broken down, in-depth video on how me and my family were able to come to Maui for less than $2,300 for a full week, then click on this video right here. This video is going to break down every single step that I did in order to save money and get here on a budget. And so that's the first thing that you do. You shop around and you be patient. You don't have to book the very first flight. You don't have to book the best condo that you see, the best car, the first thing that you see. You don't have to do that. Shop around and maybe you'll be able to find exactly what you want. If not, it's okay to sacrifice a little if you're going to save thousands of dollars. If that means you can go on another trip in the future, it's okay to sacrifice a little bit in order to actually be able to go different places around the world. I would much rather be able to sacrifice a little knowing that I went to all these different places than to spend a lot more all at once and then only be able to go to one place that you ever want to go. I would rather do that. So be patient and make sure you shop around. Now, this second way to actually save and budget for a vacation is not for everyone. In fact, it's probably only for a few people, and that is credit card hacking. Credit card hacking can be very dangerous because most people aren't credit card people. Most people don't have the discipline or the reason with themselves to be able to save and pay off a credit card. Most people will just go into debt, keep swiping their card, and say, I'll pay off the minimums later. That is not credit card hacking. Credit card hacking is when you never pay a dime. You never pay a cent of interest. So you never let your statement roll to the next month. You never do that. You literally are using arbitrage, or basically using the credit card companies against themselves by making purchases and paying it off super fast before it even hits your statement in order for you to use them in order to get points for flights, for condos, for rental cars, for whatever it is, so that you can actually save and use their own system against themselves. Because credit card systems aren't meant for you to be able to just, hey, here's a vacation. But if you use it the right way, it can mean that. It would just mean, hey, I'm going to use this credit card. I'm going to build up points. I'm going to get my bonus miles. I'm going to get my bonus points, my sign up rewards. I'm going to get all these different points in order to actually save and budget for this vacation. All while never paying a penny in interest. Once you have to pay interest, you lose. Instantly you lose because the interest that you're going to pay in for a credit card is going to be substantially more than what your points are even valued at. And so you want to be able to budget while also using a credit card in order to credit card hack and use the system against itself so that you can go to places cheap like we did to get here. So basically all you're going to do in order to credit card hack is you're going to choose which companies or airlines or whatever it is that you like the most. Which ones do you like the most? And you're just going to apply for a credit card. Once you apply for a credit card, it usually has a bonus reward when you hit a certain threshold or criteria on that card. A lot of them are spend $2,000 in the first 3 months or spend $3,000 in the first 3 months, which in reality, if you put all your bills, your groceries, your gas, everything on this credit card, and you treat it like a debit card, paying everything off as fast as possible, you can hit those points very fast. And usually that's 60, 70, all the way up to 120,000 bonus miles, which you can actually redeem for flights, for car rentals, for checked bags, everything like that. And so you're going to pick your favorite company. You're going to make sure you can hit the rewards, the threshold that you need in order to get those miles. And then you're actually going to be able to redeem those in the future. Now, this takes patience because it's not going to happen in one night. It's not going to happen where you hit the threshold and then you're going to be able to just go log on and book a flight. That's not going to happen. This might take a few months because you want to hit that threshold. But once you do get those bonus miles, you'll be able to go basically anywhere that those bonus miles will pay for your flights, for your rental cars, etc. So that's how you actually credit card hack. Most people, I do not advise to do that because most people, like I said, are not credit card people. They do not know how to be disciplined. They do not know how to pay off their statement. They're okay with a minimum balance that they can pay every single month. And once you have that interest, like I said, that you're paying every single month, you lose and the credit card company wins. And the third way that you can save and budget to go on a vacation is going to be to actually budget and save for a vacation. I know that seems pretty simple, but most people don't know how to do it. So let's say that a vacation is going to cost you around $4,000. Well, you're going to set a goal and you're going to set a budget for yourself. So the $4,000, well, now when do you want to go on that vacation? In the next 12 months? Say you want to go in the next 12 months. That would mean that you need to save around $333 per month in order to be able to go next year. So instead of swiping your credit card when you go and book a vacation and having to pay interest on that credit card until you pay off that vacation, why don't you start paying yourself first by putting that money that you would make on a monthly payment and put it into an investment account or at least a high interest savings account where the money's actually working for you instead of against you. And so, like I said, if you had a budget of $4,000, if you want to hit that by next year, then you're going to pay yourself every single month $333 and just put it into a high interest savings account so that your money is working for you. And after that 12 months, you'll have $4,000 that you can spend wherever you want. It's already saved. It's already there. So then you can just go book your vacations. And so that's it. The first way, you're going to be smart, you're going to be patient, and you're going to search and actually shop around for deals. The second way is you're going to credit card hack. Make sure you're credit card hacking if you are disciplined. If you're not disciplined, do not do this step because it will destroy you and you're going to pay a lot of interest and hurt your credit. And then the third way is just to make sure you're saving and having your money work for you instead of against you. So make sure you're putting that money into a high interest savings account. You set a goal, you set a time goal, a money goal, and then you just divide that up by however many months. And that's how much money you need to put inside your accounts every single month in order to actually save for the vacation. If you're credit card hacking at the same time, if you're searching for good deals, that budget will get shrunk so much because you'll actually be able to save a ton of money. Comment down below if you want a budget template specifically for a vacation. Because if you do, and if enough of you guys will, comment budget for a vacation, then I will actually create a template for you guys so that you can do this in the future, and it makes it a very easy step-by-step guide in order to do that. Like and subscribe, guys, for future content just like this. And remember, until next time, you can do all things through Him that give you strength. Peace.